Hey everyone, the last Shoegazer here, and welcome back to another installment of About Last Nightmare. As many of you guys know, this is the collaborative movie review series I've been doing with my great friend Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM. He always takes care of part one, gives a lot of really cool fun facts and background on the film. And I take care of part two, which you guys are checking out now, where I kind of give our overall impression and takeaway and rating, share with you a little bit about the synopsis of the film without giving too much away. So yeah, without further ado, guys, the movie that we saw last night was Bonejangles. Talk about a fun, goofy, zany, horrific movie. I'm just going to start off with showing the back here before I sit it down. One hell of a crazy ride. This is throwback horror done right. Well, I would have to agree, and I know Jason does as well. Let you guys pause that if you want to read the synopsis. Yeah, it's a 2016 release. You guys can see some shots there from the film, but it does, focus on the killer there, Mr. Bonejangles, as you can see here as well. I love that shot. I think that was really cool to include on the back there. I love that. Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on in this film. It does, not only focus on Bonejangles, but a group of other folks that get kind of caught up in this cursed town. You can see we run into demons and zombies. And while this is, a fairly independent film, it was done right. It's filled with a lot of good stuff, a lot of fun. A lot of it's over the top, and very, very gory. But it's super self-aware. Both Jason and I agreed on that. And while it is kind of all over the place, the story does make sense. It follows kind of the legend of Bonejangles, but it ties in a lot of really cool elements, kind of like the history of the town, which sort of comes out of nowhere. So a lot of really great production value here. It looks great. It's a blast. But you know what makes it so much of a blast of a movie is how freaking funny it is. Jason and I don't know how many times we were just, we weren't really messaging back. All we were sending were, the laughing, crying faces, because we were just sort of speechless, because we were too busy laughing to write anything back and forth like we normally do. And we've had some great laughs during other films, but normally it's sporadic, and we're able to kind of send messages back and forth. But I think probably 90% of this movie, we were just losing it the entire time. And I wouldn't say that it was corny, cheesy, fun kind of laughter. Some movies, it's just oh my gosh, that was just so, crappy or unbelievable or cheesy, that you almost have to laugh, especially with bad acting. But that's not the case with this film. While it was really goofy and really kind of all over the place with the acting that is in this movie, it's quality acting. They're having fun, they're playing off of one another. They're very talented. It's all it's all in good fun, but the way that they're pulling it off, it's in a very strong, awesome way. I was really, really impressed. Because it takes a good bit for me to really think something is genuinely funny in a movie nowadays. A lot of things are just stupid redundant repeats, or they're playing off of like another movie, that got a good laugh. But for a horror movie with a lot of really gory, intense kills, all the goodies, that you'd want to see in a classic throwback slasher, that kind of sort of plays tribute to a lot of other classics blatantly. They use a lot of directors' names and nods to other classic film titles. I'm not going to give any of that away. I want you to pick those out for yourself as I did, and Jason really digs that as well. I'm sure he'll kind of talk about that too. But yeah, it's it balances the horrific slasher classic kind of elements where it is genuinely creepy at times, with the slapstick dry sense of humor, just kind of really blended well throughout, and really set well with me, as well as Jason. Like I said, we both really enjoyed this, and we give this a combined 8.5 out of 10. This is one of my favorite films that I've seen from our friends at Wild Eye. So yeah, props to you guys for producing a really good title here for people to enjoy. Yeah, I would recommend Bonejangles to any fan of horror, especially retro slasher movies. Excuse me. Yeah, it just it really blew me away. I've really been looking forward to watching this. I've had this for a good while now, but I've been kind of putting it on hold until Jason and I decided to sit down and check it out together. We took last week off. He had some family things to attend to, so we kind of took a little bit of a breather, press pause on About Last Nightmare, and kind of rebooted here with Bonejangles, and I think it was just the perfect way to pick things up again and get our series rolling. Just a nice, refreshing take on a horror comedy. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of this one. I know it's had mixed reviews. People have kind of interpreted it different ways, but I just interpreted it as a super funny, crazy all over the place time that's not done in a stupid way that some movies just kind of come off as though they want to be as chaotic and weird and off-putting as possible, and I don't find too much enjoyment in those films. Sometimes they're just fun for what they are, but that's not what I wanted with this. And I'll admit, whenever we first started watching this, I kind of thought that it might go that direction, but I was just so caught up in the quality of the acting, and for instance, the two cops, how well they were like two comedians playing off of one another, and it was genuinely good. Just really, really funny. A lot of the other acting, it was the same takeaway for both of us. One of the guys, Clint, who's the dude getting married, and he's such a tool bag. But even he's completely self-aware, and he's over the top on purpose, but not in a corny way. I mean, he pulls off his idiotic character like so well. The guy playing Bonejangles, top notch, very menacing, very horrific. Some of the stuff that he's saying towards the end of the film, you can actually start to hear some of the things that he's saying, and it kind of echoes back to the things that his dad warned him about, which are hilarious. I'm not going to give that away either. Jason might mention it because he really found it funny. But just some of the flashbacks and some of the cut scenes, and just how they tied in, like the evil, like the witch, the temptress, up in her little haunted mansion, that looked like just that, like they used a little miniature for that, which was hilarious, but actually looked really cool. You know, just the overall approach to this, the balance of it, the acting, the funny parts were, you know, it was just the perfect blending for me. I see there's a little bug crawling on there. I don't know if you guys can see that by the bee there. I just noticed that. Creepy, man. Spider joining us for the review. Yeah, go check out Bonejangles. We were really impressed by it. I'm glad we held off and waited a little bit to watch it together. He had seen this previously. This is one that, like I said, I purposefully waited to watch with him whenever I got a copy. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please go check out Jason's part 1. Thank you for watching my segment. And yeah, until next nightmare, guys, have a good one.